is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our mass making sessions. We are up to week number 235, would you believe? So for those people who don't watch my channel, we are doing reruns. We are rerunning week 35, week 135. We're now week 235. So what are we making this week? We are making, I'm just glimpsing to my side to make sure I get the title right. So we are making floating pockets. Okay, so floating pockets. What will you need if you want to craft along and make some floating pockets? So first thing is you're going to need a selection of papers. Now, I am using printables, and I say this all the time, that's what I predominantly have nowadays. You don't have to use printables. You could use, you know, any other kind of page that you want. I would recommend something thicker, so maybe like a scrapbook paper or, you know, maybe like a, I don't know, a thick quality wrapping paper or something like that. Definitely not the flimsy wrapping paper. I wouldn't recommend kind of, you know, copy paper for these. That's just my opinion, because I think they will be a little bit on the flimsy side. But of course, you know, it's up to you and how you like to make things. So my papers, all of my prints have been printed on 250 GSM. So they're really nice, thick quality paper. So you're going to need papers. You're going to need some scissors. Or, of course, if you prefer to use a paper trimmer and, you know, or a guillotine or something, then, of course, you can use that. I prefer to use my, you know, my scissors. But, of course, you know, you must use whatever you find suits you best. You will need some glue. I always use my Anita's tacky glue for, you know, paper and card and things. So that's what I'm using. It's a PVA-based glue, so I will be using that. And then I like to have a glue spreader, which just like an old card or something, you know, a gift card or something. And then I like to have a dried wet wipe just for smooshing out any, you know, glue that's kind of seeped out of the sides. So that's kind of the basic things that you're going to need. Aside from that, you may like to have your blendy tool and some distress ink. This is walnut stain and, yeah, my blendy tool. And then I will decorate one at the end, but on the whole, I'll be leaving them plain. So, you know, obviously up to you kind of what you bring along to actually use to decorate. But these are the basic things that you're going to need for actually kind of bulk making a bunch of these pockets. So let's have a look and see how do we make these. So I'm going to just take one of my papers here. So I'll just move the rest into my lap so they're not on the desk. Okay, so this is from my Clocks collection papers. Now, this has been printed borderless, but for some reason my printer's really misbehaving at the moment, so it's not printing borderless, which is very irritating. So I will be kind of chopping the borders off of this. Now, depending on what sort of size floating pockets that you want, you may want to cut this down, you may want to use it like this. So I'm going to make the first one, I'm going to make a pretty, you know, big one so that we can just kind of see the difference between the sizes. So I'm going to take this. Now, obviously, if this had printed borderless, I would be able to fold it straight in half. But because I've got this white strip, I can't go in, you know, quite half. So I'm just going to go in to around here. Okay. Like that. And then I can cut my edge kind of flush with this edge. So just take that there. Cut that down. Okie dokie. So that's my edge then cut. And then all you're going to do, so I'm going to squish this down with my scissor handles. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to fold in. So I've opened it back out. I'm going to fold in the top edge and the bottom edge. So I didn't need to cut off my borderless, non-borderless edges, because they're going to be hidden inside here. Okay, so I've done the top and now I'm just doing the bottom. So just fold them in like that. Okay, squish those down like that. Okay. And then I'm going to open them back out like this. I'm going to fold it back in like that. So I've got the edges that I just folded in, those skinny ones, they're folded back out. It's folded back in like this. And then what I can do is I can just make my mitered corners, and this will all kind of make sense in a second, like that and like that. Okay, and then this side, 1 and 2 like that. They don't need to be the same size or anything. It's not like when you're making a tag where you have to kind of like check that they're the same size. They're fine as they are. And then they are going to go in like that and glue together. So all I'm going to do is take my glue and then just glue down. I like to kind of put some glue on the outer edge, if you see what I mean, and some glue on the inner edge. Hopefully that makes sense. Just so that then when my pocket is sticking together on these little bits, it's truly, you know, stuck on both the in edge and the outer edge. So then just squish your pocket together, and then you can obviously spread it with your glue spreader or your glue spreader and your wipe. I'm just going to quickly use my wipe here, like that. Okay. That's it. Press that down. And that's all there is to these. And then what you've got is a really nice, I'm just a bit worried that my glue's not really stuck. But then what you've got is this really nice roomy pocket, because obviously you've got the gussets, which kind of made that, you know, much bigger than if you'd obviously just glued two bits of paper together without sort of gusset in it. So that's all there is to that. And then this pocket, I would just have paper clipped into a journal with things inside, and then it could be moved all around in your journal. So they're really nice pockets. And obviously, you know, I've made this quite big because I've kept the paper, you know, pretty much full size. Obviously you don't have to do that. I mean, you could now go down with your paper trimmer and just trim it straight down here on the edge, but I quite like a large, you know, large pocket, so I'm going to leave mine like that. So I will demonstrate another one. They're not very, you know, complicated or anything like that, so you might not even really need a second you know, demonstration, but I will demonstrate a second one just, you know, to be on the safe side. So again, obviously my, you know, printers again not really printed the borderless effect, which is a bit annoying, but that's fine. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to take it in here, and then this one actually I might make slightly smaller, so just take it in a bit further. Might even cut it down a little bit further than this, to be honest. So yeah, just going to cut it down here along this edge like that. Okie dokie. And then I'm just going to open it back out like that. And remember, we then folded in the bottom edge like that. It doesn't have to be in very much. I mean, that's probably, you know, ½ inch, something like that. Just enough so you've got enough room to actually glue it down. And then the other edge, again, fold that in like that. Okay, and then we just squish that down like that. And then if you recall, we opened these back out like that, fold it back in like this, and then we just then snip off our corners into where that fold line is. 1, 2, oops, 2, when I finally can to do it. Okay, and 3, okie dokie, and 4. Okay, and then just quickly throw those corners in the bin, and then we can obviously pop our glue on. So remember, kind of the inner edge and then the outer edge. Do that on the top and the bottom. Now the reason why I've mited the edge here, so this edge here, is just so that when the pocket's formed, you don't have kind of over hanging paper basically. So it, you know, it's not essential to kind of miter that corner, but sometimes when you fold edges in and then you fold your paper together, you know, you might just get the odd little sort of corner poking out here, and just by mitering those two edges it kind of eliminates that. So it's quite good, you know, good practice to do. So there we go, and then just glue that down like that. And that's all there is to these. And obviously, I mean, I've called them floating pockets, and I've kind of suggested that I would, you know, paper clip them into a journal. But to be fair, there's no reason why you couldn't actually glue this onto a page, you know, just gluing it there. You could glue it down on like 3 sides, and then you'd have a side loading pocket as well as this side. You know, completely up to you how you use them. I think they're rather nice as a floating pocket and something a bit different. I'm just noticing my glues. Oh, not quite glued. But I think they're quite nice as a floating pocket rather than stuck in. Now I'm going to put these under my legs so that they stay stuck down, hopefully. And then we're going to just mass make a whole bunch of these. So for those people who don't watch my channel, I like to do them kind of assembly line style. So by that, I mean all of my same stages in one go. So all of the folding, all of the cutting, all of the gluing, all, you know, bulk kind of making. So yeah, let's just kind of relax, have a nice time, have a catch up, and yeah, just have a lovely time. Now the other thing that I have done, just quickly, sorry, before we relax and have a nice time, I did print these 2 as 2 to a page, just because I thought this would be quite nice to do smaller floating pockets. So I'm going to just cut these out like that. And this one. To be fair, looking actually, I could have kept the border on really, and then just you know, used it as my folded in bit. But anyway, it's fine like that. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of do all my folding together, and then you know, carry on. And I will try and remember to tell you the papers that I used, just in case I can't remember whether I told you. The paper that I used for the last one that we did was from the Paris Bouquet kit. I couldn't remember, funnily enough, whether I actually had said that or not. So I'm going to trim this down here on this edge where the white border is, like that. Okay, so although I am doing cutting here, I won't be kind of cutting the others. I'm just cutting this because it's actually, you know, it was a smaller piece. So yeah, but this is from the Clocks collection, as is this one, obviously. So yeah, so I hope everybody's week has started out well. For those people who watch my channel, you'll know that I generally film these on a Monday, ready to go up for you guys on the Tuesday. So my week's literally only just started. So yeah, the sun is shining, it is chilly, so I've got 2 jumpers on today. But hey, I mean, it's fair enough, isn't it? We're in October now. It's kind of October-y, autumnal weather. So yeah, it's kind of fair enough really that the day is a bit chilly, but yeah, I mean, it is nice and bright so far. So, you know, I'd much prefer a lovely bright day than a, you know, a rubbish drab day. So I will just cut this border off, to be honest. So we'll do kind of like we did with the other one. I'll just snip that edge down there. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, what have I been up to all week? Well, I have to say, very boring. Not really done a great deal again. So yeah, very, very boring. What have I done? So at the weekend, I had a very nice weekend. I went out on Saturday night with my sister and my mum and dad. So with Natalie, my sister, and my mum and dad. It was my dad's birthday. So yep. We went out and we went for a bite to eat, and then we went to the theatre. So I don't very often go to the theatre. The last time that I did go, I remember saying about, you know, how myself and my friend, we were both kind of like snoozing and asleep through the showing. So yeah, I was a little bit worried about that again. So this is my butterflies collection paper. And I just thought this would make a lovely one in these tones of brown. So again, I'm going to take this in. I might just do kind of like a sort of, you know, mid-size one. So I've come in now a bit smaller than the first couple that I made. So I'm just going to then go like that and just trim this down. So I am doing the trimming of the paper when it's not kind of the size that I want, but I'm not going to be cutting the triangles until we do them all together. Yeah, so anyway, we went again to the evening showing. So, you know, as soon as kind of my mum and dad said, oh, 7:30, I thought, oh, 7:30, that's really late. So the plan was, I thought, oh, going to have a sleep in the afternoon, because lots of you lovely ladies, when I talked about it before, had said, trick is have a nap in the afternoon. So I thought, right, okay, I take your advice and I will have a nap in the afternoon. Well, of course, no, I didn't end up having a nap in the afternoon because, you know, one thing and another was kind of busy. And then lo and behold, I did not have a nap in the afternoon. But I mean, isn't that just pathetic? I was literally worried about it, you know, thinking, oh my goodness, how am I going to actually stay awake? Which, I mean, that's just crazy behaviour, isn't it? You know, but yeah, I do kind of get myself a bit like that because, you know, I seriously do struggle to actually stay awake. So, right, I've got some of my Paris collection papers here, so I'm going to use this one, I think. So, yeah, I kind of did find myself, you know, a bit panicking, thinking, oh, my goodness. Anyway, so we went at 7:30. So we went out, like I say, to eat first, and so that was really nice. And then, yeah, we went to the showing at 7:30. So the play that we went to see, it was a play really rather than a musical. It did have some songs, but it's not, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't class it as a musical. Whether or not, sorry, I'm just going to mop that glue up. Whether or not kind of like, you know, regular theatre goers would class it as a musical, I don't really know. For me, it didn't really kind of have enough songs or be in a sort of musical format. But yeah, I don't know really whether it would be, you know, generally classed as a musical. I wouldn't have classed it as one. So what was it about? It was called Redlands, and it was about the band The Rolling Stones. So one of the members of the Rolling Stones lives kind of, you know, close-ish to the area that I live in a place called West Wittering, and I think he must have lived there for, you know, a very long time. And he obviously lived there in the 70s. He still lives there now. So, and his house is called Redlands. So the story has it that there was a big drugs raid, you know, police raid on his house in the 70s. And it was all kind of very scandalous and all this stuff. Now, I was born in the 70s, so, you know, I obviously, you know, don't really remember the story as such, but obviously being kind of someone local to the area, I have heard people talk about it. So it was about that. And yeah, I don't know really what I kind of expected, but not really what it turned out to be. So, this is my lavender collection papers. I'm loving using these so much, I have to say. They're really pretty papers. And I'm not normally a big, you know, purple kind of fan or anything like that, but they're really proving very, very lovely to use. Yeah, so I don't know really what I was expecting, but not really what it turned out like. So there was a strange sort of side story to it. So the character, or not character, but the actor, Nigel Havers. Now, I don't know whether he was from this area or not. I mean, I assume he was, because they certainly said that he was. So I'm assuming that he was. I didn't know that. So it was really kind of more about him and his dad. So his dad was apparently a lawyer who then defended the Rolling Stones through this, you know, through this raid that they'd had. Yeah, it was kind of strange. I mean, personally speaking, it probably wasn't really my type of thing that much. I probably prefer a musical. And there wasn't enough of the music. So the end, like, of the show, they played, or not played, but, you know, they did 2 songs of the Rolling Stones, you know. And that bit was brilliant. It was very feel-goody and, you know, really fun. So this one I might do a bit smaller just because otherwise they're all going to look kind of the same. So let's do this one, you know, much smaller. So yeah, I would have preferred it had it been more of the songs and things like that. So it was okay. It was, yeah, it was okay. I mean, strangely enough, I've seen lots of people writing things about it, saying it was brilliant and all this stuff. Now I'm going to fold these in more, and then I'm going to cut them down so that, again, my pocket's then, you know, a bit smaller than it currently is. I don't know, maybe I'm just being a bit fussy. Maybe it was just because it wasn't really as I expected. But to be honest, having seen it now, I'm quite surprised that it's had so many, you know, positive, positive reviews, positive feedback from it. You know, that's just my opinion. And yeah, it was okay. I mean, generally, I think, you know, my mum and dad and my sister, we all just thought it was okay. And we all said the same thing, really. You know, had it been more of a musical and less of a play, I think we would have much preferred it. I don't know whether that's a touring play or not. I wonder whether it's just a local thing because obviously of the interest, because it was, you know, a house that was local. I'm not sure that it would be of much interest to people who weren't, you know, in the local area. Sorry, these two papers are from my Valentine's collection. So yeah, it was hard to say, to be honest, whether, you know, whether it would be of interest to anybody else. And like I say, I don't know whether it is actually touring. But anyway, that was what we did on Saturday night. So it started at 7:30. There was an interval and I must have got home. I feel like it was quite late. I feel like it was about 10:30 when I got home, which for me, that is quite late. So, yeah, but would you believe I did actually manage to kind of stay awake? Now, when I say kind of, I mean kind of. There was a short phase where I did kind of fall asleep and nod off a little bit. And then I kind of woke to my mum just sat, you know, looking at me. And, you know, obviously being like, oh my goodness, what's wrong with her? She's asleep. So, yeah, my mum was kind of just staring. So I, at that point, quickly, like, woke up. But that was the only point that I actually did fall asleep. So I was kind of quite impressed with my ability to actually stay awake, if I'm truthful. I mean, absolutely pathetic. I don't know what is wrong with me, why I can't stay awake. But, I mean, to be fair, I get up at 5:30 and, you know, I'm not saying that that's especially early. I think lots of people obviously get up earlier than that. But, you know, that's quite early, you know, for me, I suppose. And, yeah, just, I then am very tired come sort of 9:30, really. So, you know, it, yeah, it just kind of goes like that, really. Right, okay, so I'm going to do only one more, I think, just with this page here, which, again, this is from the Clocks collection. So let's just quickly go in here. Oh, I'm just wondering whether I could do... Oh, I'm going to take it in and then just cut it down, I think. So, yeah. Anyway, so that was Saturday night. So that was quite fun. You know, nice to go out. Like I say, don't very often go to the theatre or anything. So that was a really different thing, you know, for me to do. And then Sunday, what did I do Sunday? Oh gosh, Sunday, very, very boring. It wasn't the nicest weather. It was okay, but it was kind of drizzly. It wasn't that cold, if I'm truthful. So it was mainly just the drizzly, damp weather that kind of like ruined the day, really. Sorry. I'd left my glue tipped up so that I didn't have glue problems, and now it's just pouring out all over the desk. Yeah, so yesterday, not the best weather, but it was, you know, not too cold. So just really had a day where I took my daughter around to her friend's house because she wanted to go there for the day. And then my son and I went for a Costa. And then I just came home and worked for the whole rest of the day. So not really very exciting, if I'm truthful. You know, but I had a nice time, obviously, working. And yeah, it was okay. But funny enough, on the Saturday, the weather had been nicer, but we had a lot of cleaning to do and things. So we were cleaning up and stuff. And right, I'm going to do the mitering now. So I'm going to just kind of whiz back through and do all the mitering of the corners. So yeah, on the Saturday, the weather was much nicer. So I hadn't looked at the weather. I thought the weather was going to be nice on the Sunday as well. So I happened to say to my daughter, you know, oh, you know, tomorrow we'll do a lovely walk with Bo. So for anyone who doesn't watch my channel, Bo is my sausage dog. So yeah, and to be honest, we're really hopeless, and you know, often she doesn't end up having a walk and things like that. So, you know, I thought, well, if the weather's nice, we can definitely do a walk with her, you know. So on the Sunday when I got up and I went to my son's bedroom, and, you know, we were having a cup of tea and a chat and things, because I hadn't seen him that much because he'd been out with his friends, you know, Friday night and then Saturday and things. So was in his room chatting with him, and suddenly my daughter came into the room and she just said, oh, I'm not really feeling well today. I'm just going to have a duvet day. You know, I'm just going to stay in bed. So I said, oh, okay, you know. And then when I went to Costa then with my son, I said to her, you know, do you want to come to Costa with us? She said, oh, no, I'm going to stay here. And then I got a text message from her, like, I don't know, half an hour in or an hour in. And she said, oh, is it possible to go to my friend's house? Would you be able to drop me there when you come home? So, yeah. So all along, really, I think maybe she was kind of pretending when she said she wasn't feeling well. She obviously remembered that I'd said the day before about the walk, and she thought, not on your Nelly, I'm not doing a walk today. So I'll say I don't feel well, and then, you know, I'll ask to go around my friend's house. And to be honest, truth be known, her and her friend have probably planned that the day before. But yeah, so it worked out quite well, because obviously they had a nice time, and you know, I was able to kind of be productive as well. So it was good for everybody, to be honest. Yeah, my son just spent yesterday cleaning his room and things like that. So yeah, and then I went out last night. I went for dinner. Well, I went on a date. So yeah, I went on a date from you know, someone who I'd met online, and yeah, I'd met him for coffee like the other day, and yeah, he was nice. So anyway, went on a date yesterday, and we shall see. So yep, we shall see how it goes. We went for dinner, so that was really nice. Yeah, not really too much to say at the moment, because obviously, you know, only seen him twice and things. I mean, it's very difficult, this whole online dating thing. I've only ever had one other online date. I have chatted to a few people online, but I've had one other date with somebody. Oh, well, 2 dates with one person, if you see what I mean. So 2 dates with one person, and oh, it was quite a while ago now, but it was okay. I guess by the second date, you know, more was coming out, and you kind of thought, oh, I'm not so sure we've got so much in common as I thought. Yeah, it's always very, very difficult, because, you know, I mean, obviously you've met these people online, and so, you know, you don't know them, and, you know, it's quite hard making conversation with people who you don't really know. Yeah, so that's a weird old experience, really. But anyway, that was quite exciting, I suppose. You know, yesterday I got a chance to obviously dress up, and, you know, it meant that I ate out on Saturday night and yesterday night. So yeah, that was quite fun, and, you know, quite nice. So anyway, we shall see what happens. You know, who knows? Yeah, and other than that, so I haven't really watched anything on TV, I don't think. Nothing's kind of sticking in my head very much that I've watched. I don't know why. I don't feel like I've really watched anything much. I think I've just been quite busy, to be honest. I've been quite busy doing quite a bit of work. Most evenings I've been kind of like working and things. So yeah, haven't really kind of been watching things. You know, stuff's probably been on the TV, but I've not really paid much attention to any of it. You know, as you kind of do. So yeah, I couldn't really tell you what I've been watching. Definitely nothing exciting. Haven't been to the cinema at all. Yeah, there's been nothing kind of grabbing our attention at the cinema, so that's a shame, because I always really like going to the cinema. So yeah, that's kind of a bit boring. What else? Well, I can't really think of anything much. So we were talking, you know, with my mum and dad about what to do over Christmas, like on Christmas Day for the Christmas dinner. And we said maybe this year we will try and go out so that nobody has to, you know, has to cook. So, because to be honest, now that the kids are all older and things, you know, I mean, none of us are really, you know, big cooks. I mean, I know some people absolutely love cooking, don't they? But I mean, none of us particularly do. And we've gone like to my mum's, you know, my mum and dad's house. We've gone there for years and years, and my mum's obviously cooked the dinner. Then my older sister, I mean, she's kind of got her own grandchildren and things now, so she'll be hosting her own, you know, Christmas with her grandchildren and things. But yeah, we've been to hers, I think, a couple of times, and last year I had everyone to my house, you know, which was fine. I mean, I felt like it was a bit atmosphereless at my house. I don't know whether that's just because I'd done the cooking, and so maybe I felt sort of zapped, and I don't know. I just felt like, you know, oh gosh, I hope everyone had a nice time, and I wasn't really confident that they did, if you know what I mean. So I kind of think that would be fantastic to actually go out to eat rather than any one of us cook. So we all kind of said, yes, that would be a good idea. And yeah, we're just kind of looking for somewhere, but my gosh, it's so expensive. I realise obviously it's Christmas Day, and so, you know, of course, they're probably having to pay their staff a fortune, you know, to go in and things, you know, rightly so. So yeah, I don't know whether we will end up eating out or not, but it would be nice to think that we would, because like I say, I'm not sure that anyone really, you know, fancies cooking or wants to be cooking. So there's a couple of Indian restaurants that we said, oh, what about an Indian restaurant? I don't know what I think to that. I mean, probably given the choice between, you know, cooking or going to an Indian restaurant, yep, definitely go to the Indian restaurant. I don't know. That doesn't feel very kind of festive. I mean, of course, it's not the traditional roast dinner. So, yeah, it feels kind of strange. But, hey, strange, but I'm sure, you know, would be very nice. Let me know below in the chat. You know, what do you do for Christmas? Do you, you know, have a big family? Do you cook? Do you go out? Have you been out for something different to eat, like an Indian or something like that? Have you ever been on like holiday or vacation, you know, whilst it's Christmas? I mean, I would love to do that one year. You know, now the kids are bigger and are older, you know, I would love to go on holiday over Christmas. I mean, they again, you know, tend to be premium prices over Christmas. That being said, you know, my sister did kind of say about one that wasn't so very expensive a while back. I mean, obviously it's all kind of booked up for this year, but yeah, so I mean, maybe one year we will kind of do that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I think to having a different type of Christmas, you know, and it would be quite interesting to hear what other people do. And, you know, if kind of say like us, you'd always had like a traditional Christmas at home, and then you went out, say, for something completely different, like an Indian or a Chinese, or, you know, you went on holiday. What was that like? You know, did you really enjoy it, or was it like, oh, this does not now feel like Christmas at all, and it kind of spoilt it? I mean, I guess, yeah, it just depends what you're looking for, doesn't it? You're really for Christmas, you know. So, you know, I think the traditional thing is lovely, but, you know, once the kids are kind of bigger and things, then, I mean, does it really have to be that traditional? I don't know. I don't know really whether it does. Yeah, it's just a weird one, but yeah, share below what's your thoughts on it. I mean, obviously, we don't really do like Thanksgiving over here or anything like that. So, I mean, I think maybe in the States, like Thanksgiving is maybe bigger than Christmas. I don't know whether that's a sweeping statement. Again, please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure, you know, whether that's kind of the bigger celebration. Yeah, I'd love to know. I'd be really interested to know. And do you exchange gifts at Thanksgiving, or just at Christmas, or do you do it at Thanksgiving instead of Christmas, or, you know, how does that work? I don't really know, you know, how it works, other than obviously what you see in films and things, which, I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that that's always a correct portrayal, you know, obviously it's possibly not correct at all, but yeah, you only kind of see what you see on a film and things like that. So I'd love to hear, you know, what it's all about, really, whether you do have presents and gifts and things like that, or whether it's more about the eating, or, you know, yeah, I'd be really interested to know. I mean, I can't believe we're even talking about Christmas. And I know I say this all the time, but oh my goodness, that's just shocking, isn't it? I don't know where the year's gone. So thank you so much to everyone for your lovely comments on my Halloween kit. Like I say, that was the Halloween kit from last year. I am working on one for this year. I don't honestly know whether I'm going to get it done or not. I'd really love to. But obviously now I'm trying to work on my Halloween project to get that finished. So yeah, it will just kind of be, you know, it might get finished, it might not. So we shall see. I mean, if it doesn't, I will probably just keep it, you know, on the sidelines and then release that next year, but we shall see. But thank you so much to everybody who did purchase, you know, a kit from the Halloween kit or any other kit. You know, I really, really appreciate your support. That's really fantastic. Thank you. And yep, thank you to everyone who's placed an order on my physical shop. I am doing some more of the folio skeletons, because there's been lots of, you know, feedback. People really seem to like those, so I made one or two I think are complete and ready to be listed, and I've got about another 4 that I'm kind of in the process of making, so they just need a bit of finishing off. So they will go in my shop, you know, on my website within the next few days, so keep your eye out if you're wanting one. I've put some more of the printed paper pads in there as well, because again, you know, I've had lots of messages from people who missed out on the last batch that I'd done. So, you know, keep your eye out for those. Well, not keep your eye out, they're on there now. So that's the printed paper pads. And yeah, hopefully going to be putting some more things in there later on this week. I've got a folio that I finished, you know, plus the skeletons and things like that, and maybe some other things as well. So do keep your eye out, you know, if you're looking for any of those types of things. Right, okay, so I'm just checking that all my joins are actually glued up, just because obviously, you know, when it's kind of doubled over like this and quite thick, I'm always a bit skeptical whether it's going to actually stick down. So I did have them, like I say, under my legs, so hopefully they've kind of glued down properly, but I will just kind of go over them and just double check that they have. So yeah, they're all looking good. Right, okay, so let's decorate one up. So I've brought along a bunch of fussy cuts and things here to use. So let's just pull those in. Okay, so I'm not sure which one I'm going to do, which pocket I'm going to do yet. Oh, I'm just seeing, have I got everything? Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, not sure which one I'm going to use, so it might depend which fussy cut that I decide on, really, and then go from there. So let's have a look and see what we've got here. So, oh, how about we could do something like this, you know, mixing up a couple of things. Okay, I've got all sorts of bits here, so from all different things. Oh, that's quite lovely, isn't it? I might do that. Okay, so this is the Valentine's collection, sorry, and this is from the Junk Journal Basics set 2. So that looks quite pretty on there, doesn't it? I might have time to actually decorate up a couple, to be honest, which would be really fun and very cool. So let's just pull in another one and see. We could do something like that on there, as, you know, like a really unexpected look. Quite like that. Should we do that? I like it when you do things that aren't the, you know, the expected kind of effect, really, or the expected thing. So yeah, let's do that. I've got some butterflies, so let's just see the butterflies that I've got, and I've also got some labels. So right, okay, let's have a look and see. So I'm going to ink up the pockets first. Okie dokie. There we go. yeah, and then I'm going to have to start thinking, obviously, about a Christmas kit. No clue whatsoever about a theme for the Christmas kit this year. We've done, you know, several different things. We've done, what have we done? We did very traditional, like the Dickensian Christmas. We did the Silent Night theme. We've done a cutesy kind of, you know, fun sort of cute type theme. We did the pups, the Christmas puppies last year. So yeah, kind of like, not sure what I will do this year. I think it does get, you know, harder and harder every year, like, you know, if you've created kits in previous years, because obviously, you know, the first couple of times you're like, oh great, you know, and you're buzzing with ideas, and then after you've done a couple you're like, oh, I'm not really sure what else I'm going to do now. It becomes quite tricky and quite hard to think of other things. So I haven't seen, you know, like in the shops, I mean, unbelievably, they are getting their Christmas things into 1 or 2 shops, but I haven't seen, you know, sometimes there's a definite trend in the shops, you know, with like a Christmas theme. I remember one year it was all the rage to have like black Christmas trees and, you know, things like that. And, you know, they go through phases, don't they? I haven't seen anything much as yet, you know, to give me a clue as to what's going to be like the Christmas trend this year. Maybe you guys have. So again, you know, share below if you've seen what's the Christmas trend. Let me know, because I'm pretty rubbish with things like that, and yeah, probably just miss it altogether, and you know, it will have been and gone before I actually see what the trend is. But okay, there we go. Oh, I made some muffins yesterday for my breakfast. I hadn't really baked any muffins for a really long time, so I kind of just like winged it. And I had a recipe that I used to make a banana loaf with, so I just tweaked that for muffins. So I didn't have everything really that was on the recipe, so I just chucked in other things. So literally, I think all I put in them was I used spelt flour instead of normal flour. Spelt flour, soya yogurt, what else did I use? Oh, a couple of bananas, some honey, some coconut sugar, and some cinnamon, and some baking powder. And I think that was all I actually put in there. Oh, do you know, they were so scrumptious. I hadn't made any muffins, like I say, for years and years. And, you know, obviously then making up the recipe, I thought, I'm not sure what these are going to turn out like. Oh my goodness, they were scrumptious, absolutely scrumptious. So yes, I've already polished off quite a few of them. I mean, I made, I think I made 6. It would have been enough to make about 12 had I followed the actual recipe. But not only did I not follow the recipe, but I also made like half quantities. So yeah, I got, I think, 6 muffins out of it. So yeah, really were very yummy. So I've had one for breakfast today. I have had 2 for breakfast yesterday. I might have one for my lunch today. So yeah, they were really nice. And just kind of a change from having my smoothie. I am always just having my smoothie. So it's quite nice to have something different, you know. Oh, I don't know now. I'm thinking, well, I think probably on there. So yeah, and then perhaps we'll have a butterfly or something, and maybe some sari silk or something. So let's just have a quick look. They're my labels set 2. These are obviously my coloured butterflies. Yep, they're the labels, printables, and this is also from the Junk Journal Basics set 2. So yeah, in case you were, you know, wondering where anything was from. Okay. Those 2, and let's just take this one. Okay, right. Oh, heard lovely news yesterday. So apparently Costa, so we really love Costa, and yeah, kind of go in there with my gym friends quite a bit, go in there with my son quite a bit and things. Now, unfortunately, they don't accept dogs in there. which is such a shame because, you know, we obviously would love to take Bo with us. And, you know, sometimes, like yesterday, for example, you know, that was all we did in the whole day was, you know, we went to Costa. And, you know, it would have been really fantastic because we could have walked to Costa, you know, it's about probably 20-25 minute walk from our house. And we could have obviously walked Bo, gone for a coffee and then come home. And of course, because she can't go in there, you know, the weather wasn't like nice enough to sit outside. So, you know, she just had to stay home. So it's kind of a bit of a shame for her, you know, because she never gets to kind of like come there. Anyway, when I got in last night, my son had forwarded me something from I think it was like a Facebook post or something. And it said, dogs are now allowed in Costa. Yay! I mean, I just want to just put out a disclaimer in case that's incorrect information. Please don't shoot the messenger. But yeah, I mean, hopefully that is true and that's a reliable post that came up. But oh my goodness, that will be so exciting. So I sent it straight to my gym friend Steve and his wife, who they've also got a sausage dog. They go on the sausage walks with us and things. Well, I mean, it's his niece who actually arranges them. So yeah, I forwarded the post straight to him because, you know, he also loves the Costa. And I thought, oh, they will be so chuffed as well. So, yeah, he messaged back when I'd woken up this morning. He messaged back and was like, yes, you know, how cool is that? So very, very, very excited to be able to go to Costa, like maybe at the weekend, you know, maybe kind of walk down there and then go in there with little Bo. So, yeah, that's going to be kind of like really, I'm not saying life-changing because that's a bit of an exaggeration, but kind of life-changing for Bo anyway, because she won't be then just, you know, stuck in the house on her own. Oh, last week went and looked at secondary schools with my daughter. So yes, that was one of the reasons why I hadn't watched anything on TV, was because I was obviously out looking at secondary schools. Oh my goodness, we were there for like 3 hours. Why we were there for quite so long, I have no idea, but the time just like whizzed by, and before I knew it, it was like, wow, we've been here the whole night, you know, literally 3 hours. But what made me laugh, oh, she wasn't really very interested in seeing the school. No, she was just interested in seeing her friends, you know. So we were walking around and I was saying to her, do you want to go in the science labs, or do you want to look at this? Oh, I just want to find my friends, Mum. I just want to find my friends. You know, like, she really couldn't have been less interested in the actual looking around the school. You know, which I guess that's normal, isn't it? You know, when you're a, you know, child. But yeah, she did make me laugh because when I went with my sons, you know, when they were small, I mean, I can remember them being quite interested to look around the school, you know, and kind of, I mean, my eldest son especially, he really loved science. So going in the science labs, he loved that, you know. So it just was really weird to go and look around, and she couldn't have been more disinterested. So yeah, she wasn't really interested at all. But anyway, she's been to the school now. Don't know if she's really overly looking forward to it. So yeah, she's kind of feeling a bit nervous at the moment. She will go next September. So I mean, I haven't obviously even applied for a place for her yet, but I must crack on and do that. Maybe that would be tonight's activity. Yeah, anyway, so that was obviously, you know, took up one of the nights, hence I hadn't watched anything on TV, I guess. And then the only other thing that worried her, other than, you know, looking for her friends, was, I mean, how am I going to get to school, Mum? So I said, well, you'll have to do like your brothers did and, you know, go on your bike. What? Go on my bike? She couldn't believe it. But, I mean, they always biked there, you know. Yeah, she was, what? Bike? Yeah, on your bike. Oh, wonder if I've got more. Oh, here we go. But to be honest, I mean, she probably won't go on her bike. She's not really much of a biker. So she will probably walk with her friends. She's got like a lovely little friend who lives, you know, just around the corner to our house. So she perhaps will go and like, you know, pick her up on her way and they'll walk together, something like that. So, yeah, you know, and obviously it's nice if you can go to school with your friends, you know, especially for the first few weeks when you're settling in. So, you know, and obviously it's nice and safe if they can go, like a group of them or a bunch of them walk into school, rather than, you know, wouldn't feel comfortable walking on her own really. But yeah. So, but she was just horrified, I think, at even having to walk at all. I mean, she walks to school now with her friend. But I mean, our house is very, very close to her, you know, school that she currently goes to. It's going to be a bit further, obviously, to the new school. Not too far, you know. I mean, it's probably a 20-minute walk or 25-minute walk rather than a, you know, 5-minute walk. But yeah, to her, she was like, what walk? I said, well, yeah, you know, like your brothers. So she wasn't very impressed, and that's probably putting her off going there even more, to be honest. I'm just having a look to see whether I've got any of those little pearly flowery things. No, I haven't. But I have got some bling. So there we go. Yeah, let's put some bling down on there. Looks pretty. Okay. Right, that looks nice. Absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? And then this one, yeah, let's do kind of something on this. So thinking maybe have some black lace. I've got some black lace here from my Halloween-y project that I'm doing. So I'm doing a bit of a different project for the Halloween kit, and I will do a tutorial on it. I will have to obviously complete that one first, but yeah, then I will do a tutorial which hopefully you'd really like. So yeah, hopefully you'll really like the project that I've done. It's quite different, and yeah, I'm about halfway through, so after this video I'll probably try and finish off the project that I'm doing, and then I'll try and film a tutorial to make something similar. Okay. And actually, to be honest, I've made a ton of things for the or with the Halloween kit, so it might actually be that I'm going to end up doing a journal and the project I've done, or I will maybe do a Halloween you know, one of my big sort of physical kits. You know, I'll just have to kind of see. But yeah, definitely it's turning out that I've made a lot of pieces of ephemera so far. I mean, they all need finishing off, but yeah, I might have made way too many, and then it'll be like, oh, now what shall I do? So I might have to then, yeah, either do a journal from it, or maybe just a kit, because I just might not have time to actually do the whole journal. So I shall see. Right, let's pop this flower down. Okie dokie. Okay, and the label. There we go. Oh, it's one of those really weird days outside, you know, when it's completely silent. As I said it, now there's a car going past. But yeah, I mean, there's just literally 1 or 2 cars, and that's it. It's just really quiet out there, which is really weird. Let's put that butterfly down up there before it just gets knocked off onto the floor or something. So yeah, like that, and put this sorry silk down on here. Okay, so they're pretty pockets, aren't they? And yeah, just something a bit different. Oh, I just want to say thank you also to everyone who's still taking the time to comment. I'm so loving, you know, chatting with you lovely ladies. It's really, really, really nice, and lots of you sharing kind of, you know, nice things about your lives and things. So it's just so lovely getting to know you all. And you know, I mean, obviously I've got some long-standing friends in the community, and you know, other people who are kind of maybe newer, or you know, maybe they've been watching for a while but they're only just commenting now. And it's so lovely, you know, I love hearing a little bit about your lives, and yeah, just kind of all the different places that everyone's from. You know, I still find it really mind-blowing that, you know, due to the internet, we can literally be you know, sharing our kind of whole love of this, you know, craft all across the whole globe. I mean, I just find that really, like, yeah, mind-blowing. I mean, you would have thought that I'd have got over that by now, wouldn't you? But for some reason, that still blows my mind. So it's just really incredible, I think. And yeah, so I love hearing about it. I mean, just yesterday, a lovely lady was sharing that she was in Canada, in Niagara Falls. I know that, you know, there's a regular lady who watches from the Caribbean, you know, and it's just amazing. I just absolutely love hearing, you know, another lovely lady, she's from New Zealand. I mean, that's, you know, throughout the whole world, we're all kind of sharing our hobby, which is amazing, isn't it? Right, so that's my finished 2 pockets that we've decorated today, which is, you know, been really fun. So like I say, I would just literally paperclip them onto a journal. I don't think I've got a journal on the go at the moment, unfortunately, to be able to show you, other than my Halloween thing, and that's, yeah, completely different, so it wouldn't really work to clip this on. But yeah, they would either be clipped on, or like I say, you could also just glue them down on, say, like 3 sides and stick them onto a page with a side loading pocket there. So, you know, they're kind of a flexible pocket really, but I would generally call them a floating, you know, floating pocket. And then you can obviously use them as you wish. So how many did we make? So we've decorated 2, and aside from these 2, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 there, 8, 9. So we've done 9, but 2 are actually completed and decorated. So I think we've done pretty well, to be honest. And yeah, I've really had a lot of fun. Hope that you guys really had a lot of fun as well. They're a really nice, quick, easy pocket. You know, you could easily do those in front of the TV, just with a tray on your lap. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Love to hear your comments in the chat below. Love it if you give this video a thumbs up, and yeah, keep your eyes peeled for the folio skeletons and obviously the printed paper packs, which are already in my shop. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks then. Bye.